Hey everybody, and welcome back. So today I'm going to answer some pool questions. I know there's a lady that emailed me and she's having some trouble with her pool. So let's go down by the filter and we'll talk about some things. Okay, so first thing, my water level was a little low, and I'm going to show you the water level that I like to keep it to, so that the skimmer has the best draw in for debris. So let me maximize this here a little bit. So you can see there's 2 screws on the skimmer, and I like to keep the water level just above those 2 screws, because for our pool, now your pool may be separate, maybe a little different, but the best draw for debris is the water level needs to be halfway between the bottom of the skimmer, and I find that if you keep the water level just above those 2 screws, it has the best debris draw. Alright, so let's talk about our filter over here. So my filter is a sand filter, and I don't know what brand it is. It's a PNS. Looks like it's been rubbed off. You can kind of see it. Here's what I have, and some of the numbers are rubbed off. But a lady friend of ours is having issues with this. She says it just keeps turning. So there's an O-ring that goes inside of this, and I believe you don't have to empty this, but hers may be separate. So what I would do is, if you're having leaks, you want to check around all your fittings. This is a C-clamp. You want to make sure that these, I had to replace this one this year because it was all rusted, and you can see the rust from last year's on the hose. So make sure that all of these are not leaking. Here's the one to the inlet, and this I've noticed too, I have to tighten this every couple years too, because it'll leak and drip down the side of the pool. Also, this guy here, now next year I might want to replace this because the screw is rusted, and you always want to have a shut-off valve from the water from the pool to your pump in case you need to do pump repairs. And also, it's a good idea to have one so that when you clean this out, the water just doesn't keep running out of your secondary clean out. Okay? Now, also, this guy right here should never leak, and that goes to our sand filter right here. And you can see I actually have a little leak. Do you see that little drip right there? And it's wet. So I need to tighten that guy. And then this one right here to the skimmer, make sure that's tight. So she needs to take that, and this is a clean out. She needs to take this off to put the O-ring in it. So what I would do is take all the hoses off. Now you're going to want to shut everything off. Shut your pump off and turn your filter to closed when you do this. Okay, shut everything off, and then unhook this real quick and drape it over the pool so that it won't leak back out. Okay, yes, some water will come out, yes, that's true. And then what you're going to want to do is shut that valve, take this one off, and drape that over the pool as well. So then all the water, none of the extra water from the pool can come out of these hoses. And make sure that you have something to sit on top of the hose if you're going to do that, like a brick or something, to actually keep it in there, because sometimes they fall out like they did to me. They fell out. Alright, so once you take those 2 hoses off to the pool and you're draping them over the side of the pool, then what you're going to want to do is unhook this guy right here to the filter, right? So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to open this back up, and you're going to turn it to and it'll just start flowing out. You can turn it back to a backwash and you're going to want to tip your filter to get the excess water out. Now, when you take the top off, because you're going to have to take this off to replace that, you're going to have to empty this, right? So take all of the top off, right? And then there's a little tube that goes inside here, right? You want to get a tarp and you're going to dump out the sand so that you can get to the bottom, okay? Now, mine has an out. You can kind of see this is one piece. There's actually a piece that this screws onto that is one piece. So when I had to put my O-ring in, I didn't have to drain this, right, to replace the O-ring, because mine is a little bit different. You can kind of see that there's a piece that this actually screws onto. But if yours is an inside kind, you're going to want to drain this whole thing. So that should get you started, and it might work, it might not work. So if you have a leak from there, also if the leak isn't really bad, I wouldn't take it all apart. But if it's bad enough to where you're filling your pool every day, then by all means you're going to have to take this off. Take your top from your filter off, and take the plastic pipe that's inside your sand filter. Take that out, drain the sand, and then put your O-ring in. That's what I would do if I had, if it was draining a lot of water. Because if you're filling your pool up every single day and you're losing as much as you're filling up, that's not very economical, right? So I would start there, and if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call or email me. Just keep emailing me. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to comment. Trying to think of what else. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you guys is when you back flush. So when you back flush, I have this hose here, right, that I use to back flush. So I hook this up to here, right here, shut your pump off, and I'll show you how I do it. So you shut your pump off first, right? You hook up your backwash hose, roll it out to wherever you're gonna send your water to. Move this from filter to backwash here, and then in your little window, when it runs clear in the window just like it is now, then you're going to want to shut the pump back off, move it to rinse. You want to rinse the water, right, that's inside the filter until this is clear again, and then shut your pump off, and then turn it back to filter. That's how you successfully backwash, okay? And then all you do is turn your pump. So you're going to shut your pump off initially, right? Make sure your outlet hose that you're going to backwash your water out is hooked up and properly secured, because mine blew off. I don't have a C-clamp on mine because I unhook mine all the time. So you're going to hook up your waste hose, turn it to backwash, turn your pump on, run clear, turn your pump back off, put it on rinse, run clear, turn your pump back on, on, off, and then when you're done rinsing, turn it off, and then turn it back to filter. Okay? That's easy peasy. Honestly, the sand filter is the best filter I find. The dichotomous earth and the paper filter, they just don't last long enough. And sand filters the finest particles. Yep, so I hope that helps. If anybody else has any other questions, feel free to comment, and I hope this helps a lot. If not, you may have to seek professional help. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Little pool tips for you.